Okay.
All right, Jai Baba, everyone. We're here for another Tween Sahavas, and we have a special guest today, Noshji, because Sahana and Srinidhi have chosen the topic of East-West gathering. So we'll have a series, I guess, of conversations or, things that they've put together. But we'd like to first start off with the prayers. So Soham, can you please read the Parvardigar prayer? And I'm posting it here. So,
yeah. O Parvardigar, the preserver and protector of all, you are without beginning and without end. You are non-dual and beyond comparison. Oh, now I really can't see it. That's over. You can go back to it. I can see it better now. You are without beginning, without end, non-dual, beyond comparison, and none can measure you. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited, unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible and none concealed, but with eyes divine. You always were, you always are, and you always will be. You are in everywhere, and you are in everything. You are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are manifest and unmanifest, on all planes and beyond all planes. You're imperceptible. Oh no, sorry.
We're in the three worlds and also beyond the three worlds.
Yeah, you're in the three worlds and also beyond the three worlds. You're imperceptible, independent. You are the creator, the Lord of Lords, the knower of all minds and hearts. You are omnipotent, omnipresent, and you are knowledge infinite and power infinite and bliss infinite.
You are the ocean of knowledge.
Oh, you are the ocean of knowledge, all knowing, infinitely knowing, the knower of the past, the present, and the future. And you are knowledge itself. You are all merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, one with infinite attributes. You are the trinity of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, the ocean of love. You are the ancient one, the highest of the high. You are Prabhu, Parmeshwar, beyond God and beyond God also. You are Parabrahma,
Allah,
Allah, Ilahi, Yazan, Ahura Mazda, and God the Beloved. Your name is the only one worthy of worship.
thank you, Soham. Meher is here also, right? Awesome. And Shaveen. Laya, do you want to read the repentance prayer for us?
Sure. We repent, O God, most merciful, for all our sins, for every thought that was false or unjust or unclean, for every word spoken that ought not to have been spoken, for every deed done that ought not to have been done. We repent for every deed and word and thought inspired by selfishness, and for every deed and word and thought inspired by hatred. We repent most especially for every lustful thought, for every lustful action, for every lie, for all hypocrisy, for every promise given but not fulfilled, and for all slander and backbiting. Most especially also we repent for every action that has brought ruin to others, for every word and deed that has given others pain, and for every wish that pain should befall others. In your unbounded mercy, we ask you to forgive us, O God, for all these sins committed by us, and to forgive us for our constant failures to think and speak and act according to your will.
Okay. Who would like to read the Beloved God prayer?
Yeah, sure, I will.
Awesome. Thank you.
Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and more and more, and still yet more, till we become worthy of union with you, and help us all to fast to Baba's Zam until the very end. Avatar Mere Baba Ki Jai.
Sorry about that. So as I was saying, Srinidhi and Sahana have been working very hard the past week trying to put stuff together, and Noshji has graciously accepted our invitation to be here because our topic was East-West Gathering, and these two ladies have some questions, etc., prepared so that everybody can be enriched, and they're going to give us some background information. And after that, once these girls go through their questions, we can open up for any others that we have here. So thank you so much for joining, and welcome, Noshji. We're really, really happy to be here. And Sahana, you can take over, sweetheart.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, since Srinidhi is driving, you are gonna be in the, or she's in the car until she gets home. You guys can, start presenting and ask the questions that you need to, okay?
Do I need to present?
Yes.
Because like I have the thing open.
Just
Yes.
go for
Oh,
it.
wait.
You're all good.
Yes, go for the presentation. Start off with what you guys were working on, and then
Do I do the questions?
let's first talk about the East-West gathering and what it was, right?
Okay, give me 1 minute.
Okay, you have the co-host. You're the co-host now, so you can share your screen,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. 1 second. All right. So the presentation is because you have like the presentation is not that big. It's only like 3 slides. There's just like 3 facts and a map. That's it. So I'll just present, I guess. Oh, whoops. Could you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Guru Prasad, like so I think it was behind it or like in the backyard. That's where like the whole thing, like the whole East-West gathering happened in 1962. So there's like, so it was November 1st through the 5th. And the year was 1962. And then it was in Guru Prasad, like I was saying. So Guru Prasad is in Pune, and it was owned by the Queen of Baroda in the backyard of it. Like I said, and yeah, in Pune. And then there was like over 7,300 people. I think there were like 7,000 Westerners and 300. No, I don't know.
Opposite, 300 Westerners and 7,000 Easterners.
I thought so. All right, yeah, and then that's a map. So, the map is if you wait, could you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a map of India, and right there it's pointing, Pune. I know there's like 2 different names, but like I think this is the wait, let me do this. This one, yeah, I put so it was in India, obviously. Yeah, so there's 2 different spellings. I think this is like the newer spelling, but like I don't know. Yeah, so that's it. It's like they're just like 3 facts, so and then a map. Yeah.
So you guys ready for the interview then? I can.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put Nashji. I'm gonna pin him so you guys can. I'll start pinning 3 of you. So you guys have your questions ready for Nashji?
Yeah. I sent the questions to Srinidhi in the chat.
Before we continue with the 2 of you, do you guys all know why Nashji is here today? Besides Sahana and Srinidhi. Can somebody answer why Nashji is here today?
Did he also attend the Sahavas?
Yes, that's right. I was
That's right.
there.
So we have a special privilege today with, one of the people who was there, one of the 7,000 people. So that's pretty cool, huh? We're pretty blessed to have Nashji here. So without further ado, I'm gonna, Sahana and Srinidhi, please take over.
Okay. Before like this whole thing, I don't know if you knew him like in 1962, but did you see Tom Riley in The Friend? Because I wanted to know.
No, I did not, because there were so many Westerners who were sitting in front. Tom Riley was just one of them. But
Yeah.
I was privileged to sit at Baba's feet at the East-West gathering. And my focus was entirely on Baba. Because when you're sitting in Baba's presence, no one else or nothing else matters but being in his presence. And that's the most important thing.
All right. So yeah, now we're gonna ask the questions.
Okay, so how old were you when you attended the East gathering?
I didn't get the question.
You
How
said
old were
how?
you when?
Yeah.
Yeah, how old were you when you attended the youth gathering?
About 26 years old.
Okay. And then I think the next question. All right. So then, how did you come there, and who did you come with? If you came with someone.
I came with my father and mother, and both my father and mother were volunteers. So they often volunteered at these darshan and savas programs because it gave them an opportunity to have a ringside seat. So my father was in charge of holding the crowds because there were so many crowds who were bearing in for Baba's darshan, and then my mother was designated to stand near the stage. And there were all the various different people who had come. They came from different states of India, and they were all allocated certain areas to seat in. There was a very large shamiana or a pandal or an awning, as they call it, and everyone sat under that awning. And they then got into line state-wise, and they stood in line in order to bow down to Baba and take his darshan. While there was constant singing of bhajans by the Pune Bhajan Mandali.
Okay, so where did you sit?
Where did I do what?
Where did you sit?
What happened was that when I was I was seated in the area which said Uttar Pradesh, because all the states had their names written on a pole. So that's where they had guesstimated how many people would come from each state, and accordingly chairs were set up in under each state. So I came from Dehradun, which is in the foothills of the Himalayas near Delhi, and that's where I sat under the title that said Uttar Pradesh. And while I was seated there, I thought the last time I had met Baba was in 1953 when he stayed for 1 year in Dehradun. So I started wondering whether would Baba remember me? Would he recognize me if he saw me? And so all these thoughts were going through my mind. And as I was thinking of all this, his secretary, Erid Jasawala, called out on the microphone saying that Baba would like Naosherwan to come to the stage. So I went to the stage, and then I embraced Baba, met him. I sat down on the stage, and throughout the session, I sat on the stage. And there were others also who were seated on the stage, and I sat amidst them.
So then, so did Baba know you were there?
Yes, I met him, and he asked me about how I was doing, how my studies were going, and I told him that I was doing well in my studies, except in maths, which was a very weak subject for me. So Baba said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Maths was also my weak subject," and reassured me and made me feel good in that sense. So this was a little chit chat we had, and I embraced him. I kissed him on the cheeks, and I had his darshan. And there was a long line who was gathering in order to bow down to him. So, of course, he recognized me, and I was pleased about that.
So did anything unusual happen when you were gathering?
Anything unusual? Is that what you asked me? Uh, did you ask me whether there was anything unusual?
Yeah.
Okay. There were two instances that come to mind. One was the care and concern that Meher Baba's chief woman disciple, had for Meher Baba's comfort. And what it was that while I was seated there, I saw that she had sent Gohar to whisper something in Erich's ear. And what it turned out to be that Baba was giving darshan to thousands of people and bowing down to them, and not bowing down, but bowing down in front. And so he was straining his neck, and in the years since he had had two accidents, his entire neck had been very badly damaged. So Mera was very concerned about the comfort to his neck. So she told Gohar to tell Erich to put some pillows at Baba's neck. And it made me feel at that moment the care and concern that Mehra had for her beloved Meher Baba. And then the second instance was, there was this woman who was from Dehradun, and she had kept very bad health and was in and out of doctors' offices and in and out of hospitals. Her name was Mona Sakre, and she was seated on the table on the stage. And Baba called her, and she turned her face away. She was very upset with Baba because she had been suffering a great deal physically. Finally, Erich went over to her and persuaded her to come to Baba, and she told Baba about her suffering and started sobbing in Baba's presence. And Baba pulled out his handkerchief and gave it to her and dabbed her tears, and told her that, do you know how much I suffer? And to those who are closest to me, I give them a minuscule part of that suffering. Can't you take that suffering for me? And she cried a lot more, and then she went and sat down. So this was probably the most moving moment for me, sitting and watching this scenario, as to how Meher Baba explained this to her and how she understood and how she was reassured that her suffering was for God's sake, and that it was he who gave her that suffering, and that she must bear it with a certain degree of equanimity.
Okay. So what is your fondest memory of being there?
My fondest memory was a number of things. One was that, oh, where did you vanish? Where did Sahana go? Okay. My fondest memory, the first thing was that when I landed there, we were standing in line and the doors had not opened. And then as soon as they said that you can come in, people just ran like maniacs, thinking that they would not get an opportunity to be in Baba's presence. So we all ran and we found our places to sit down. And then we all sat down, and then Baba came. And the moment Baba came onto the stage, it was like a thrill that went through the entire crowd of, I believe there were about 7,000 to 10,000 people there. Nobody really knows how many, but it was presumed that there were about 10,000 people. So, are you listening, Sahana? Okay. So then uh, so thousands of people in one voice shouted as soon as Meher Baba came onto the stage, Avatar Meher Baba ki jai, and he was sending out waves and waves of love. At that moment, I saw my hair on my hands stand on edge, and I could actually feel his love deep in my heart. And that was perhaps the most memorable moment. And then soon after that, I met Baba, kissed him, embraced him. And so that was the first moment. The second moment was when Dr. Harry Canmore was a blind chiropractor who was also there at the East West gathering. And Baba asked him to say the Master's Prayer. Now, the way he said the Master's Prayer was so stunning that each word he spoke with a lot of emphasis, and each word you could feel touching your heart. And I believe that somebody mentioned last time that the Master's Prayer that he uttered is on the web somewhere, and probably Shilpa can share it with you all. But he said it with a lot, very gently, slowly, and very deliberately, with a lot of feeling. And that really, really shook me up because I had never heard anyone say the Master's Prayer so powerfully. So that was the second time, the second memorable thing. And then the third one was when what had happened was that the Westerners were seated in front and all the Easterners were sitting way beyond as the eye could see. So they were all getting impatient because the lines were not moving that quickly. So at one point, everybody wanted to go in front. And it seemed as if that's why they had a row of people holding people back. And then, despite the fact that Baba couldn't stand or he was brought in holding both hands. He was very feeble and he was not in good health. In fact, earlier the Mandali felt that he might not be able to give the darshan at the East-West gathering, but he insisted. So at that moment, Baba stood and raised his hand, and somebody announced that everybody will get darshan. I will not leave the stage without giving darshan to everybody. And then the entire crowd receded. For a moment, it seemed as if Baba would be overwhelmed by the crowds rushing towards him. So these were three memorable moments that I recollect.
All right. So, did you come on the first or
On the
like
first,
before that?
yeah, on the first day.
Okay. So, yeah, that kind of concludes our.
Yeah, you want to conclude?
No,
Yeah,
well, that concludes, I guess, their questions, but I want to open it up to everybody else. Anyone else here have any questions for Noshji? This is your chance. I actually have a quick question. It was 5 days, right? And I believe
4
from
days.
morning,
4 days.
4 days, from morning till evening. So
Yeah.
how was it divided? And did Baba ever get breaks?
Yeah, there was a lunch break. But what happened was, one memorable thing happened on that day was that um, in that month of September, normally it does not rain in Pune at all or ever. And suddenly the clouds became dark and it started raining very heavily. The Shamiana sagged and everyone was drenched. And quickly, all the Westerners, I remember Wendy came out in a yellow sari, somebody's sari. All the women Mandali pulled out their saris and their salwar kameezes and gave it to the women. And of course, the men all got drenched and sat there with their clothes drenched. So there was a very heavy downpour on that day, and I remember just standing under the Shamiana drenched. And the other thing was that the Mandali never got an opportunity of taking Baba's darshan. So a part of the day was reserved, a part of the time period was reserved for the Mandali to take Baba's darshan. And that was a very moving occasion when each one bowed down to Baba, touched his feet and Baba. So it was very moving for the Mandali, and you could see that in Baba's appearance as well, that how at that moment he was acknowledging the loyalty and the deep devotion of those who had lived with him all their lives. Because that's what it all matters: your faith, your devotion, and the level of your obedience and love for the beloved. That's what matters.
Awesome.
Earlier,
Thank
they
you,
were not
Nash.
allowed to touch the feet.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So we actually have quite a few other children here. Sia's here, Smaran's here. I really do want to open this up for everyone to be able to ask questions. So thank you all for joining. I think this is a very special occasion that we have, that we're, talking about the East West Gathering in the month of November, which is when it occurred, right? So
No, it was
anyone,
in November, right?
anyone else have questions for Nashji?
Natia has one.
Were you nervous or excited to see Baba?
I was, when you come to see Baba, your focus is entirely on him 200%. You don't think of anything. You see all these crowds around you. In Baba's presence, you just look at him continually. I remember seeing my mother while I was seated on the stage. My mother was standing just at the edge of the stage. She was standing there, and I could see her standing diagonally opposite. Throughout her time there for 4 days, she stood there staring at Baba continually. Continually, she was staring at Baba. And that is what I've always admired in my mother, her absolute devotion to her beloved. So that's what it is. With what I'm forgetting what the question was.
Were you nervous to see Baba?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, so I wasn't nervous. I was just too excited, because you had this constant feeling that will I be able to go near him? Will I be able to see him? How will I take his darshan? All these thoughts go through your mind, because you see all these 10,000 people there, and you wonder, when will my turn come? All that kind of stuff. Oh, there are a whole bunch of hands raised.
Yeah, Smaran, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't see who raised their hand first, but oh, Meher, you did? Okay, go ahead, Meher.
What was the fragrance of Baba when you got close to him?
Fragrance.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have met Baba several times earlier as well in various different. I met him in India, in Dehradun, and I used to meet him several times during the year that he stayed in Dehradun. 53, he stayed there all year round. Had an opportunity of embracing him, kissing him, and bowing down at his feet. And Baba had a very unusual fragrance about him. He never applied anything on his body, but you always got the smell of sandalwood. You had the feeling of sandalwood, like a musk smell, a smell of musk. And that's the smell you got, and which was an unusual smell that came from him. And that smell you never really got from any other human being. That's the smell you got from him.
Smaran, go ahead, ask your question. And I just want to show you guys a real quick picture of, can everyone see?
That's the album.
That's the album of the East-West Gathering. And you can see the amount of people there, right?
Yeah. So the Westerners were seated in front.
Okay.
And now this man on the extreme right that you see here, let me point him out to you. This man is Harry Kenmore.
The one here, right in front of Baba?
No. This is where my arrow is.
I can't, Nashi, I can't see your arrow.
You can't see my arrow?
No.
Oh, the man on the extreme right with a cane in his hand.
Oh, yes, here.
Yeah, this man.
Okay, awesome.
Who else can I recognize? I can see Phyllis Frederick here, and I can see Jane Haynes here. This is Jane Haynes. And well, that's it. Then if you go more towards the right, but then the picture, there are no pictures at the right. You see Sardar, no, here is Sardar Amar Singh Sehgal. He was a parliamentarian, a member of parliament.
Okay, awesome. So Smaran, thank you so much for waiting patiently. I'll keep showing other pictures while you guys ask questions in between, but go ahead, Smaran, you can ask your question now.
Okay, so I was wondering, like, after you met Baba, like, did you decide you were gonna make like a significant change to your life in some way, or like how you thought?
Baba had already transformed my life. And I was spending all my time focused on Baba, doing various, writing poems to him. And then a few years later, I launched a magazine called Glow International, which was launched by Meher Baba himself. And do you ever get to see the Glow?
Yeah, I see it in the mail.
Yeah. So this is, it's been 55 years. So my focus was always on how can I serve him more and more. And one of the things that Baba communicated to all of us, including me, was how of devising ways and means of sharing Baba's name with others. And this is what each one of you should also keep in mind, that irrespective of what the reaction is, you should be proud of the fact that you have been blessed to follow Meher Baba. And how can you share his name with your friends, with your family members, and tell them that Meher Baba, if somebody asks you, who do you follow? And you can say, I follow Meher Baba. And who's Meher Baba? He's God in human form. And then don't worry about how they react, because people will react differently when you say those things. But I had no fear all my life growing up. Even at your age, I was always anxious to let people know who Meher Baba is.
So I actually want to ask, and I think Sia had the question next.
I think Sia's hand is up.
Yep, yeah. Give me 1 second. I just want to pin her so we can see her.
I see a funny image over there.
Yeah, this is an interesting image. Thank you, Smaran, for your wonderful question. I appreciate you being here and asking the question. Go ahead, Sia.
I have a question about how many people were sitting in the thing.
There were about 10,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So if I can ask, how many of you actually feel comfortable when like, to Noshji's point, when somebody says, oh, who's that on your necklace? Or if you're wearing a Baba necklace, or who do you follow? What do you guys typically give answers as? Who wants to share that? Do you guys take Baba's name? Smaran, if you're talking, you're on mute.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Usually I just say like, oh, like I worship like Krishna or something, because like Yeah,
Okay.
because like all gods are the same technically. So, you know.
You know, Smaran, Meher Baba said that you don't have to say that I'm God in human form or I'm the avatar or anything. You can say that He is my real true friend. When I need Him, He's there for me. When I call out to Him, He's present in my life. If I have a problem, He helps me solve it. So He is my real true friend. He's like my real true father who is always with me in all circumstances. He's with me. So that is what you can always say. Because when you say that he's the same as Krishna or same as Ram or something, then people start wondering that, oh, how did that happen? Or how would you call him this? So you could just say that he's my real true friend to make it easier on you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Rosalie, you had your hand up?
Yes, because I
Hi, Rosalie.
remember Baba's sister Mani when she
Mm.
was small, quite small. She had a friend, I think her friend's name was Mary, and they went, it was a religious school, I think. And the subject came up of God, of Christ, and Mani got real excited and she said, Mary, my brother is God.
Right.
And Mary never spoke to her again. So that shouldn't affect how you feel. So don't expect that someone's going to be really happy for you or whatever, because the other person might not be ready to hear that. But anyway, that was Mani, that was God's sister.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah.
Awesome. We have another person, Shailaja Aunty, please go
Oh,
ahead.
hi, Shailaja.
Jai Baba,
Jai
Shri
Baba.
Jai Baba, Jai
You're
Baba,
not,
everyone.
you're
Jai
not
Baba.
zoomed out.
Well, we love the Zoom sessions, so we enjoy them. So I wear a chain, and on my chain is Baba's locket. This one
Right.
I wear, and here Baba just does look like Lord Christ.
Right.
So
Right.
I tell my coworkers that's my Christ, and every Baba's birthday, Feb 25th, I bring cupcakes and goodies to my coworkers, and they enjoy them so much, and they remember every year. They ask me, "Oh, we have Sally's event coming up. We're going to have cupcakes." So that's
Very nice.
how it goes. Yeah, Jai
Very
Baba.
nice. Very nice.
That's awesome. Anybody else have questions? Sia, your hand is raised again. Did you have another question? Or
Yeah, it's just that my grandma has this one pin.
Wait,
and she wears it.
you. I'm so sorry. We would love to see your face. If you can please turn on your camera. Thank you.
My camera isn't
it's not
working.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we had seen
Well-
it earlier, so I thought I'd ask. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, my grandma has this pin of Baba, and she wears it everywhere. So, just reminded me.
Anybody else got any questions or memories that this conversation is jogging?
Yeah, this is my ring with Baba.
I was just about to say
That's
that,
Baba's
Nani.
ring.
I was just about to say, oh, my
Yeah,
Nani wears a Baba ring.
Pedana's, that is Pedanani's, that is my mother's. This will go on for generations, I think.
So mine
That
is
is the-
interesting because I have a Baba necklace, and my coworker would always look at it and go, "Is that your father?" So I said, "No, he's not, but he's my spiritual guru." But I guess I should just start saying, "Yes, he's my father," But I always think in the event that somebody really meets my dad, they'll be like, "Oh, that's not your dad." So. All right, anybody else? I do want to give Laya and Soham and Meher, Shireen, you guys have been very quiet. This is your chance. Ask questions, talk to Nashji. Wow, everybody said
The question me and Natya asked were like the same. We came up with it together.
Okay, go ahead. What is it?
Oh no, it was the one we already said like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. But now that the topic has shifted, do you guys have any other comments you want to add?
I actually have a locket that was on that has a picture of Bob, and I wear it like pretty much all the time.
Wait, who's talking?
Natya.
Okay, sorry. We can't tell who's talking with the camera off. Awesome. How does that make you feel? Does it like, you know, I mean, I know Baba's in our hearts, but maybe I can ask this question. Why do we wear Baba's picture or, you know, his, you know, around our neck or on our finger? Sahana.
I don't know the answer to that question, because it's different for everyone. But I just remembered. I wear like a Baba necklace. I've been wearing it since the first day of school, and then I've been wearing this Baba ring for like a long time. Like, so like one of my best friends, Sydney, is always asking me, "Oh my God, what is that? What is that?" I'm like, nothing. And like, I don't really take this off unless my gym teacher finds this on my finger. And
Is Baba written on it?
Yeah, it says Baba.
Oh, Baba's written on it. Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
where did you get that from, Sahana?
Oh, a very, very nice lady gave it to me, and yeah.
So mom got it from a nice lady, and then mom gave it to you.
Exactly.
So two nice ladies gave you the ring.
Yeah.
Okay, after you're done, Sahana, Srinidhi wants to share something. So
Okay. So yeah, I don't like, I take this off when I have to like shower, but I don't take this off. But like the only time I've ever taken this off is when my gym teacher found this on my finger, and I know this is kind of bad of me, but I sneak it so I don't have to take it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's it. Don't be mad, okay, Mom?
No, I'm happy you don't take it off. Srinidhi, go ahead. You had your hand raised.
Okay, what was the question again?
In general, like, we all wear some kind of a ring or a necklace or something. So I just sparked in my head that, like, why do we do that, right?
So I think like in Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, it says that that God is everywhere, but like when like you use stuff like the people who actually like pray to God as a symbol of something like a statue, a picture, is more they're more
personal God. Personal God.
What?
Personal God. That's what they say in Gita, right? Yeah.
Personal God. Then they're more. It's more easier to reach God than people who don't use, a symbol or something.
Awesome. Thank you. Somebody else wanted to say something. Was that you, Soham? I forget.
I also forgot what I had to say.
Okay. Smaran put something in the chat, but Smaran, do you want to just talk about it? We can't hear you, Smaran.
A lot of times people come to my house and there are a lot of Baba pictures like put up around the house, and they always ask what it is. And like sometimes one person asked, like, was it my grandfather? And I just said yes, because yeah.
Yes, Sahana.
So in third grade, oh my God, that was 2 years ago. In third grade, so my teacher for writing what is it called? Those composition notebooks. Yeah. So yeah. So we had to like decorate it, put like stickers, like they had my photos, and so like pretend this is like my notebook. So I had like one Baba picture on it, and like we like showed it. Well, we didn't have to like show it around, but like whenever I took it out to the, like write, because like a notebook, how you make like those personal narratives or whatever they call it and stuff in writing. Yeah. So yeah. Oh my God, I keep like, I don't know what to say next, but
So it was on your book, I remember. So
yeah,
is
yeah.
that what
And
you're
then
gonna say?
everyone's like, oh my God, is that your grandpa? And like this is a young picture, but I was like, oh my God, is that your dad? Is that your grandpa? I'm like, no. And then they're like, who is that? I'm like, I don't know. Cause like I don't, give me 1 minute. What do you want so
All right, anyone else like to share? Shalajan, do you have your hand raised? Or was it from before?
That's from before, I guess. I'll lower it.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
So, guys, we have a little more time, and Noshji is here. So anyone else wants to ask him questions about Guru Prasad, I can share some pictures, and maybe Noshji, some other memories will trigger, perhaps? All right.
Yeah, these are the long lines that we all stood in front of Guru Prasad. And the darshan program was at the back of Guru Prasad, not in the front. So what you see here is, I'm going to show it with my cursor. Can you see my cursor?
No, Noshji, you'd have to,
I guess not.
no.
He would have to share screen. He would have to share his screen, and then
Right, but
we
then
can
this
see it.
is on my screen, so I don't know how that will work unless he shares
Okay.
it. So
Anyway.
just tell me, maybe I can navigate.
No, so the area in front was the veranda. Baba's room was on the extreme left of the veranda, and this is the long veranda that turns around, that goes around. On the extreme right was the veranda that went all the way to the back, and at the back was where Irich used to sit on a small desk on the floor. And then across from Irich's desk was the Mandli room. And there were two windows which were kept open. So you could see, well, if you're walking past, you would see Baba seated over there along with the Mandli. So when I was there in 65, that's the scenario that I saw in 65. Of course, in 62, the only thing that you saw was Mani seated in that balcony and filming the crowds coming in. You could see Mani taking films.
Noshji, since you're here, I know in the beginning Sahana mentioned that this was the palace of the Queen of Baroda.
Maharaji Shanta Devi, yeah.
So maybe can you tell us a little bit about her and her affinity with Baba and why Baba was using this?
Yeah. At the moment, I don't remember the details. I've written it down, but I think it was Bal Natu who had a connection with the Maharani of Shanta Devi of Baroda, and went and asked her whether Meher Baba could use her palace during the summer months, and she very graciously agreed. And Baba would every summer he would come, and she would also be there, but she also had another place in Pune that she used to live in. So this entire palace would be given over to Meher Baba and the Mandli. And during his stay there, lots of people would come and see him there from time to time. So in most of the pictures, you will see Maharani Shanta Devi of Baroda seated on the dais, on the stage, and it was a very large property. It had stables at the back where horses were kept and so forth. So once Baba dropped his body, the Maharani offered the palace to the trust, but the trust couldn't really afford it. It was very expensive to maintain such a huge property. So it was so only a certain portion of it was given to Baba, and the rest of it was converted into Guru Prasad apartments, and a small segment of it where Baba gave darshan was kept, and the same material that was used at that time, they built a small little memorial to Meher Baba at Guru Prasad, which you can visit now, and there's a full-time caretaker of that place. And they call it the Guru Prasad Memorial House.
Okay, that's nice. These are some of the other pictures, but guys, while I show this, please ask away. Meher and Shireen. Go ahead, Nashi.
This is the Australia group, strictly the Australia group.
Okay, you can see there are a lot of little kids.
Yeah, they were all, you can see Francis Brabazon standing here, sitting here, Bill LePage. So these are the two people I recognize. And so this was the, they did not come on the first day, they came on the next day. And so they were at the Pune Club, all the Westerners were put up at the Pune Club, and that's where you see them.
Mm-hmm.
This is Baba standing. This is not during, I'm not so sure that this was during the East-West gathering, but this is a photograph of Baba standing outside Guru Prasad. And this is the stage, and this is Darwin Shaw reading a discourse of Baba. This man sitting there is Keshav Narayan Nigam.
On the right or left?
The man on to Darwin Shaw's left.
Okay, wait, the one in the suit.
Extreme right.
Okay. With the glasses.
Yes. Then that's Darwin Shaw. Then I don't know who this is seated next to Darwin Shaw. Then there's Maharani Shanta Devi of Baroda, the lady seated on there. Then the man standing behind Baba is Mirji Karkaria. And the man to Baba's right is Yogi Shuddhananda Bharti. Mm-hmm. And the man to Shuddhananda Bharti's right is Dr. G.S.N. Murthy.
Yeah. There he is again.
And that's Erach and Murthy and Shuddhananda Bharti.
He came to the marriage, Shilpa's marriage.
Is this also yeah.
These are the Westerners. There's Charles Haynes there. This man is Led Dimple. And this lady over here is from Paris, Anita, who's there.
So Nashi, who's holding Baba's right hand?
I know who's holding Baba's left hand is Led Dimple.
Okay.
I can't seem to place the man who was holding Baba's right hand. But the man at the back here, you see the tall man is Fred Marks from England.
Okay. I think that's another. I think that's about it, right? This was also.
No, this was also one of the events where they did the Aarti to Baba with a tray where they had put all the diyas, and they performed Aarti. And this lady who was a Sufi she also participated in it. So these I can tell you who they are. This is Jane Haynes,
In the blue dress.
Wendy Charles, and this is this lady from New York. I'm trying to recollect her, who used, and then you have, this is Darwin.
Is that Tom Riley there in the dark hair? Is that him?
No, no.
Who is it?
There's Phyllis Frederick at the back, and this is Darwin. I don't remember who this is. This is again Keshav Narayan Nigam.
This is another picture, right?
Mhm.
Oh. Look at those beautiful fountains. Oh, I think that's it. Oh, this is another one.
This is another one.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop sharing screen now and give everyone an opportunity to, in the last couple of minutes, Meher and Shireen, you guys have been very quiet. Anything that you want to ask or share, let us know.
How did you feel during the Guru Prasad?
How did I feel what?
How did you feel during the Guru Prasad?
I didn't follow your question. How did I feel in Guru Prasad?
Yeah.
Is that, well, Guru Prasad was not important. That was not important. The palace itself was not important. What was important was the darshan program that Baba gave. And that Baba was the one who welcomed thousands of people, embraced them, and really, really stretched himself, despite the fact that he was suffering a great deal. He was in very bad health, and there was a feeling that he may not be able to give this darshan program, but he eventually did. And that was the reason it was so significant was because he this was the first and the last time that Easterners and Westerners came together to bow down at his feet.
Thank you, Meher, for that question. Anyone else? I don't know if I see.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Soham.
So, how many people do you think you met from other countries in total?
Well, I didn't meet anyone. And that was not my intention. My intention was to be in Baba's presence, focus on Baba, have his darshan. So I did not spend any time meeting anyone, neither Easterners or Westerners. Because when Baba is there, nothing else matters. You only focus on him. Nothing else matters. Everything else is the support system. Everything is incidental.
Yes.
Sia, did that answer your question, Soham?
Yes.
Awesome. Sia, you have a question.
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot.
That's okay. I'm happy we can see you. Guys, anyone else? So we are continuing next week. So before we head out, I want to just remind this. So next week, it's going to be a hybrid Sahavas where we're going to actually, some of us are actually going to be physically together, but then we'll still, like dial in and those of you who are, different parts of the country, etc., will still log in. And Srinidhi and Sahana have another part prepared. They've actually interviewed Tom and Kathy Riley. And unfortunately, they were busy. They couldn't make it. So it's a video that they'll be sharing with you guys. So it's really nice, and I hope we can, keep this going and see if we can get anybody else to also talk about it. But just wanted to let you guys know about that. Any other questions before, we say goodbyes? Feel free.
Okay.
I think I have another one. I just thought of another question.
Okay.
So, did you feel like what kind of excitement did you feel when you saw him and met him? Like, was it like a tense excitement, or was it like kind of like calmer and like less hyper?
Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, I was very, very anxious to be in his presence, and I started wondering whether he would recognize me, whether he would know me, whether he would know that I'm Naosherwan. When will I get a chance to be with him? There are thousands of people. Where will I stand? So there was this anticipation of being in his presence a lot closer than I was, because the states were alphabetically posted and Uttar Pradesh was pretty far back. So while we could see him on the stage seated, we were a distance away from him. As you saw that photograph, it was way out that people were gathered. So it was a moment of deep, deep anticipation and excitement to be closer to him than to be so far away from him. And I don't have the picture of me sitting on the stage over here. But if you were there at the last one, I had a picture of me seated on the stage.
Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll take a screenshot, Nashi, and show it to them next week. But I actually do want to add to that, because every time I hear that story from you, I always feel like, you were so far back, right? And
yeah,
it was all in your thoughts, and the fact that it was heard by him to,
Yes.
like, I mean, yes, we can call it a coincidence, but it's really not, because it is Baba knows us, he's within us. So I think that's a huge significance for all of us every time I hear that, where
That's right.
he knows every one of your thoughts and every one of your anxieties, to the point where with you or with that other lady who was not looking at him, right?
Because of the thousands of people, why would Erich call me to come and sit on the stage?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, at that moment, it totally took me by surprise. And I was very excited that Baba had called me and had heard my thoughts. So this is how it is.
Yeah.
Baba hears your thoughts.
Can I ask if anything like that has ever happened to you guys? I want to share one thing which just triggered my memory. Friday evening, I'm driving home. It was a little late at night, and from work, and I randomly thought of a coworker of mine from about 13 years ago in Ohio. And I said, it's been so long, and I just want to call her. And then I thought, it's going to be weird if I call her out of the blue, right? Without texting or whatever. And believe it or not, about an hour later, I'm sitting at home. I checked my phone, and she sends me a text saying, I was walking home, I was in the parking lot. It was dark at night, and I remembered a conversation that you and I had, and she said it was so funny that it just randomly jogged my memory. And I said, oh my God, this is so Baba, because I sent her a text saying, I was thinking about you an hour ago. And I kind of saw the text about a half an hour later. So I said, my God, our paths must have crossed, and of course, to me, I was like, oh my God, this is Baba, right? So it's just amazing. Yeah, we call it coincidence, but I don't think it is at all. Anybody else have those things you want to share?
Yes, everybody, we all have so many experiences like that. Yeah, similar experiences. I thought of it is there.
I've had people asking if Baba was my grandpa, and then I've also had experiences where people asked if my dad was my grandpa. I don't know.
I was about to say that.
Narayan is not going to feel very complimented.
Because when the kid asked my dad, I was in like second grade, and asked my dad, and my dad instantly just started laughing. He was like, I was like, no, that's my dad.
So, I remember you came home and you told us the story, but Dad doesn't look that old.
And he wasn't that old, and that too, he was younger than all their dads.
Right.
So.
All right. Anybody else before we say goodbyes?
Okay, Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba Noshji.
Jai
Thank
Baba.
you so much.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you.
Hannah and
Thank you.
Srinidhi, you
Bye,
guys did a
bye.
fantastic
Jai
job.
Baba. Jai Baba.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank
did
you.
great. Jai Baba.
Jai
Good job,
Hannah and
Srinidhi. Good job,
Srinidhi.
Sahana.
Very, very
you.
good. Very well
Thank you,
done.
Noshji. Once again.
Naoshi,
Jai Baba.
Jai
Yeah, nice interview there. Thank you, girls.
Yeah, they've run off,
Baba.
Auntie. Jai Baba, everyone.
Jai Baba. Thank you.